So in this video I'm going to show you two things. Now the first one is just how much money Avengers Endgame is making. So Avengers Endgame has just crossed over $1.8 billion and it's due to cross $2.1 billion by the end of Sunday, and that's the total that Titanic made at the box office. So that is actually enough money to buy small countries. So this is a list of countries ranked by their GDP. So you've got America, which is 20.4 million times $1 million. That's the GDP of America. But there's obviously much smaller and much poorer countries. So you have Tuvalu, which has a GDP of $38 million. And then if you go up to here, 1.8 billion or 1,800 is Cape Verde. So Avengers Endgame has actually made enough money to buy one of these countries, or even a multiple selection of countries. So at $1.8 billion, it could buy Dominica, Tonga, and Cook Islands in total. So that just shows in context how much money Avengers Endgame is making. Now when you hear $1.8 billion, it's always important to remember that doesn't include the merchandise sales, that doesn't include the sponsorship sales. So as branding sponsorship with companies like Aldi. So this movie will make a lot more than the actual figures at the box office. You have to incorporate t-shirt sales, poster sales, Lego sales, toy sales, digital downloads, DVD sales. This movie could make between $2 to $3 billion profit. That's not revenue, that's actual profit this movie could make. So if we look at that sort of number, it could buy countries like Liberia, Burundi, Aruba, massive amounts of money. Enough money to buy small countries. It's quite incredible. And the second point I'm going to point out that Avengers Endgame will not be the #1 movie in terms of revenue at the box office, because that movie was actually released in 1939 and it's gone with the wind. And the reason is, if you incorporate consumer price index inflation, that movie made a staggering $7.4 billion at the box office. So Box Office Mojo and many other sites, as this article points out, they don't incorporate inflation. They base it on the average US ticket price, which is currently $9.01. But if you incorporate inflation, Gone with the Wind has actually made $7.4 billion. So Avengers Endgame will not be the #1 rated movie if you factor in inflation. It could cross Titanic by Sunday and almost certainly make more money than Avatar, but it still won't be the #1 movie when you factor in inflation. And I was quite surprised by this. I found this really shocking, really astonishing, just how much money a movie from 1939 has made. Now that obviously includes all the re-releases at the cinema, but it's still a staggering amount of money. And that is potentially because more and more people in those days didn't have obviously televisions. So more people did go to the cinemas. During the 1930s, right through to the 1970s, more and more people went to the cinema because they had no television. So cinemas were more popular in those days. So that may explain why Gone with the Wind made so much money. A quite incredible amount of money, $7.4 billion if you factor in inflation. Now Avatar made $2.8 billion. So if Avengers Endgame makes around $3 to $3.5 billion, that's still only half the value of what Gone with the Wind made at the box office. So I'm really staggered by this. Let me know what you think in the comments below. But just to put it into context, Avengers Endgame is making so much money that it can actually buy small countries. Quite incredible. Again, leave your comments below and also like and subscribe.